Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. Let me know if you all can hear me and see me. It's like storming where I am at today. So I just want to make sure that you all can hear me or see me. Just give me like a Y in the comments. Or like give me a yes. I'm gonna test it out on my phone just to make sure that we're all good. Everybody can hear me, everybody can see me. Let's see. All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Latrice Huff, career and leadership coach to ambitious women of color. It is my mission and my movement to put more money in the hands of women of color. And I do this by helping us transform our mindset and using manifestation techniques. This way, things are easier on us. We don't have to be hustling all the time. No matter what anybody says, we don't need to just work, and work ourselves into the early grave. There is a better way to increase your income and make more money. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today is 3 mindset shifts to increase your income as a woman of color. These are tips and mindset shifts that I have personally made to increase my income, to take me to zero in my business. I went from 0 to 16,000 and I was like hovering under 20,000 annually, okay, in my business for a couple of years and then jumped to like 90,000, 100,000. Like we're talking 6 figures and multiple 6 figures. This is me running my business as a woman of color, as a Black woman who is also a wife, who is also a mother, who's also a sister. I was also taking care of my mom who had a terminal illness. I share this because life happens. The way that people tell us to make money by work is not the way. You will stress yourself out, burn yourself out, and will not be helpful for your health or anyone else. Okay. So, as we're going into this, we're going kind of like getting very close to like the second part of the year. Can y'all believe it's like almost half the year has gone? It is crazy, crazy. Okay. So, what we're going to talk about is the mindset shifts to increase your income this year that you can start doing now as a woman of color, especially as we hear more about layoffs and AI taking over job and getting rid of D&I and all. I think the numbers like what up to like 600,000 Black women have been removed from the workforce in the last 18 months. So how can we and you as an individual and us as a community increase our income without stressing ourselves out, burning ourselves out, and sacrificing our health, wealth, and family? That's what we don't want to do. We want to be able to bring in the income without sacrificing all of these things. These tips, again, I have used personally in my life and have used with hundreds of my clients. When you all hear about the shifts in my clients making $20,000 increases, $30,000 increases, getting 6-figure roles, my business clients doubling their revenue, working less, being able to take midday naps, this is the exact shifts, mindset shifts that I took them through to get to that end result. Okay, so I want to share with you all how your mindset is directly tied to your monetary result. That people don't always see this, but your mindset is directly tied to your money. If you think making money is hard, if you think there's never enough, if you think it's only certain people who are allowed or can have money, that is going to reflect in your money and in your reality. So you have to check your mindset first, okay? Here's my first tip. And I always have a lot of my former clients watching this too. So if you are a former client, you have heard me say this. I say this a lot. This is the first concept that I teach my clients. The first mindset shift is we have to disconnect the concept of time and money. What does that mean? A lot of us think that money is a one-to-one relation with how much we work. We work an hour, you get paid for an hour, right? If you don't work, you don't get paid. And you've heard that so much all your life. It is simply not true, especially if you own your own business. It is not true. But you also think about in the workforce, when I was salary and I worked in a corporate role and I was salary, if I worked over 40 hours, I that did not necessarily reflect in my paycheck. That was it. Also, on the flip side, if it was ever some times where I did not work 40 hours, that didn't reflect in my paycheck either. But most of us are conditioned to believe that there is a one-to-one relationship between time and money. And I'm here to tell you it is not. This is why people think if I want to make more money, I have to work harder. It's simply not true. When I started making more money, I had actually decreased the amount of hours that I started to work. Again, my child was home with me. This was the beginning of 2020. So his daycare had shut down. I was taking care of my mom who had a terminal illness. So therefore, this was the first thing I had to get clear. I was like, it is not a one-to-one, because I was like, how can I needed to make more money and work less hours. So I had to disconnect this concept of time and money being related to each other. And when we look at some of the richest people in the world, or rich celebrities or athletes or anybody who has an abundance of money, we see that it's not related. They have more money than hours they can work. They have more money than they can spend in multiple lifetimes. So we know it's not true. We've just been conditioned to believe that it's true. Okay. So that is shift number one, mindset shift number one. You need to learn to disconnect the concept of time and money. This will change everything for you. You will start to get new ideas, right? You will start to be like, oh, maybe I can take that vacation. If I want to make more money, maybe I don't need to get a second part-time job. This is where the overworking comes in. I was talking to someone today, and we were talking about people having like 3 jobs. At one point in my life, I was one of those people. I had a full-time job, I had a part-time job waitressing, and then I had another part-time job bartending. I made more money once I got my degree and got another job. I made more money in my full-time job working less. Then, when I started my own business and really started to disconnect the concept of time and money, I made more money in my business working less than I did in my full-time job working 40 hours a week. Okay. This is it. This is how you do it. And I'll share this. I'll share a quick story about a client of mine who was going through the same thing. Her issue was she had a certain income she needed to make. She had flexibility but no freedom. So she was up working till midnight because she was like, the work has got to get done. I got to get this work so I can stay at a certain income. But what she really wanted to do was work less, take midday naps, and go on vacations. And when we had to show her that you can work less and still make the same amount of money or make more, she had to properly utilize the staff that she had. But first, she had to disconnect the concept of time and money in her mind in order for her to do this. In order for her to start really making some major decisions and making changes, it started with that mindset shift. Once she did that, she went from working till midnight to being able to stop work at 6 p.m. and taking midday naps. She started traveling more, going on like utilizing hobbies more. But she had to do this after she had the mindset shift. Okay. Number two, you need to learn that you can create your own opportunities. There's so many times people are like, well, I'm just going to get another job. Yes, that is creating a new opportunity too. But so is starting a business. So is investing. So is earning, like buying an investment property. That is a way of creating your own opportunities for income. All right. That's going to bring me into my third tip, my third concept or mindset shift too. But before I do that, I want to let you all know about a workshop that I have coming up. It's completely free. It's on how I manifested $40,000 in 1 month as a woman of color business owner. Only working 20 hours a week. I was only working 20 hours a week at the time. I want to share this with you all completely free this Thursday, April 23rd at 7 p.m. Eastern. If you want access to that, go ahead and put pivot in the comments. and we'll send you the link to that free workshop. I'm going to be sharing these tips and much more, not just tips, but the tangible actions and manifestation techniques I used to create $40,000 in 1 month. I didn't launch. I didn't have any crazy funnels. I wasn't like emailing people 100 times. None of those things, all the things that they tell you to do. I listened to my instinct. I got aligned in what I really wanted to do in my ideal client, and I took 3 strategic actions. And I'm going to share that with you all this Thursday. Okay. So if you're interested, go ahead and put pivot in the comments and we'll send that link to you. You sign in, you'll get access to our free workshop, and I'm going to see you on Thursday. All right. Tip number 3, or mindset shift number 3. You need to believe and know that money can come from anywhere at any time. You want to increase your income, you need to really know this. So many times we get locked in. Again, money must come from the hours I work. I need to work overtime or get a new job. Those are one ways, but money can also come from speaking engagements. Money can come from inheritance. I always say, look at how some of the people became rich, right? Not all people like worked their way to wealth, right? Some people inherited their money. Some people invested in something and it came to fruition fairly quickly or fairly lucratively, right? Some people invest, some people put it into like investments in stock markets. Some people do real estate. Some people get money as gifts. As gifts, you look at how many people do GoFundMe's or start a product. I just donated to this woman. I think she had like some sort of gardening product. She's a single mom. And you could like donate to her GoFundMe and she sends you a product, right? She sends you like part of her product. But that is the multitude of ways that money can come to you. Do not be limited to the 1 or 2 ways that are tied to your work. Again, this is why I'm giving these to you 1, 2, 3, but I like you to think of these mindset shifts as like circular, like they all work together. Once you're disconnecting the concept of time and money and realize that you can create your own opportunities, it is an easy and natural mindset shift to say, oh, well, money can come from anywhere at any time. This is a great way of increasing your income. One of the things I like to tell my clients is like, all right, think about 10 to 20 ways that money can come to you. Just make a list. I like 20 because I like to really stretch my mind, but think of it. It's like, all right, I can find money on the ground. I can like, somebody could pay me back money that they owe me. I had this happen to me. Like, somebody borrowed money from me years ago and I had written that thing off, right? And then all of a sudden they gave me the money back. Now, it wasn't no interest or anything like that, but they gave it back. I had like recently this happened to me, a check. I found a check that someone had written to me. It was like an overpayment and it had expired. And I was like, oh, well, I don't think there's anything I can do. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just go to them and tell the truth. And I was like, hey, the check expired. I just seen it. Can you write me a new one? They wrote me a new check. I deposited that bad boy right away. But that was another way. I was like, oh, wow. And that was a few $100s. I was like, oh, this money just came to me, right? So be open and know that money can come to you at any time in any way. Here's the little and comment, any amount. People are like, oh, well, I can find a penny on the street. Yes. And you could also get like a $20,000 increase. Someone could purchase a service from you. Just be open that money can come from any place. It does not only have to come from 1 or 2 places. And people primarily think it needs to be associated with work, not as much. Or some people are like, it only needs to be associated with my business. But I have a colleague who's like selling her book. I have people who are selling Reiki services. I have people who are getting donations. Like it just depends. And you need to be open to it, especially right now where we see things happening in the job market. We need to know that is only one way, that money can still come to us in a multitude of ways. All right. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. I wanted to come on here really quick. I was like, I'm only going to be like 10 to 15 minutes. Share these mindset shifts. If you don't take anything from this, please please take from this that money can come from any place and anywhere. Be sure to check out and sign up for our workshop, How I Manifested $40,000 in 1 month as a woman of color business owner. Again, you can put pivot in the comments or you can message me privately and we'll send you that link. And have a good day. Happy Monday. Bye.